All right, so let's get started. We are in results coaching and we're on day 9. Okay, so we're still talking about the structure aspect of a routine. And today we're on responsibilities. So a responsibility is the state or fact of being answerable or accountable for something within one's power, control, or management. So let's briefly talk about the difference between an obligation and a responsibility. An obligation is something that we're morally or ethically required to do. Say, for instance, going to work. We've got to work, or taking care of our kids in terms of feeding them, providing for them. Those are moral and ethical obligations. Responsibilities, on the other hand, are choices that we can make to perform in some area. So there's more leeway with these responsibilities. All right. So let's look at an example. So the obligation would be work, but even within work, there are responsibilities such as preparing for presentations and returning emails. And so when you with work and other obligations, it's helpful to delineate responsibility sometimes so that we can assess our performance clearly. So if you were to break down you may call them duties, we'll call them responsibilities. If you were to break down the responsibilities at your job and look at each one of them and measure your performance, what percentage would you give each one of them? That's the significance of breaking this down, because a lot of times we'll run into the challenge will be our output. And if we were to break down these responsibilities, there's probably one or two that we're not performing as efficiently in as we could. When we find ourselves falling short with the responsibility, we can identify that as a challenge. One practice for this could be assigning specific days and or times that help us focus on meeting the demand. Like long-term goals, responsibilities require an approximate weekly allotment. For example, preparing presentations. If this was something that is recurring, then you could pretty much break down the approximate amount of time it requires of you a week, maybe 4 hours or 8 hours, but you could come up with that figure, and then you would allot that time into your daily agenda so that you're making sure you have time to prepare adequately. When it comes to assessing these responsibilities, we want to really think about various aspects of our lives and begin setting aside time where necessary. So let's look at a few more examples. Time with kids, monitor budget, business marketing. So earlier I mentioned obligation of us taking care of our children, but responsibility would be spending adequate time with them for their social and emotional growth. If you felt like you didn't spend enough time with your kids, you may want to set aside an hour a day or a few hours a week, and you can work that into your daily agenda. Monitoring budget, if you sometimes feel like it's been a recurring challenge for you to stay within budget, and you need to spend more time on your budget, you may want to set a day out of every week to look at your numbers and see what's the trajectory for that month on your spending in different categories. That may be something you want to set aside as a practice. Business marketing. If you have a business or are starting up a business, you may want to set aside 4 hours a week or 8 hours a week. So those are things that we are assessing now in terms of our responsibilities, the things that we really have a choice to do, a choice to be more efficient in. All right, assignment, identify responsibilities. So Identify some responsibilities that you need to make adequate time for. Begin implementing them into your daily agenda. Note, by this time, you should have a list of obligations, leisure, activities, needs, long-term goals, and responsibilities that you can make quick reference to. Remember, if you have any questions, you can hit me up in the chat or email me. And I'm looking forward to where we're going on this journey. Thanks. Have a great day.